sir.
All right, yeah, here's the gym. Bad Boys Boxing and Fitness. We're gonna walk through, show you what we got, the opportunities that you can come in. Once you step in, you consider a fighter. Nah, I'm just joking.
Now you open at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, we open at 5 a.m. Yep, we're actually 4 a.m.
4 a.m.?
Actually 4 a.m. I gotta change the.
What's good, people? Welcome back to TMTV. And today with me, I have one of the best pro fighter to ever come out of Oklahoma State. And at the same time, I'm at the Bad Boy boxing gym in Oklahoma. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. If you don't mind me, can you introduce yourself? Just a brief, overview of
Grady.
yourself.
My name is Grady Brewer. I guess I'm best known as winning a reality show called The Contender back in 2006. Been professional fighting ever since about 1992, something like that. So, been fighting for a while.
Wow. Can you take me through your career? Just a brief overview.
I started fighting when I was about 11 years old, amateur boxing, and fought from 11 to about 16, 17 years old. The gym that we had in Lawton was sponsored by the city, and the city ended up not sponsoring the team no more, so we ended up having to basically go away from the boxing, and then I had to turn to something else, which is I turned to basketball, and so I started playing that sport. And about 2000, it was 2000, I think I want to say 12 or so, a guy came with a boxing gym, and I turned professional at that time. So I was 28 years old when it happened, but at that point is when I started my boxing career. Professionally.
Wow. So what inspired you to become a boxer in the first place?
My family did it. I had a family where my dad did it, my brothers did it. Well, my brother, I didn't have brothers, just one brother, but my brother did it, and I had uncles, and I had a lot of friends that tried to, get on the band that came through our neighborhood, and we jumped on the band, and a lot of people was exposed to it because it was a easy way to get to the gym.
Wow. And I'm not gonna lie, you're still looking very young and sharp.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, it's in my genes because I don't feel 100%, but I guess it's in my genes.
And one more thing, I'm also impressed by your gym, which we're gonna explore, in a minute. So transitioning, you used to be a boxer. So how was the transition like, after you finished boxing? Because if you look at some of the, I don't want to say black athletes, let me say athletes in general, they always find it very hard to transition from, after they finished their career. So how was your transitioning for you?
Well, from my experience, I'm sure that it's hard for any guy that does any sport. It's hard to transition from doing a sport that you feel like this is your livelihood to doing something that you're not doing again. I mean, it's really rough. It's really tough because I still want to fight. I love fighting. I don't know, a lot of people, I got friends that say, man, why you want to get hit in the face? Who likes to get hit in the face? I'm like, no, this is the job. The whole point, I don't get hit in the face. I want to hit them that they can't hit me.
Yeah.
So, it's just, it's a science to it. It's something to it that makes you just not never want to walk away. Makes it hard to walk away. And I've done it until I was 44 years old. My last professional fight, I probably fought too long. I probably stayed in the ring too long. But I felt I started late, so I felt like I had a lot more age to go ahead and go. So, but it was just fun. It's a lot of experience. I traveled around the world doing it. I mean, I wouldn't take it back for nothing, and I would want to do it again. I still want to do it, but again, my body.
Because Floyd's still doing an exhibition fight.
Yeah. And he might be fighting me one day because you never know.
You never know. You got to bring him to the Oklahoma City, because this is what everybody is embarking on now, trying to make Oklahoma State a boxing state. Because a lot of time people say it's a football state.
Yeah.
So what makes it a football state? It could be a boxing state too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just not a lot of boxing gyms around. You know what I'm saying? I think it's starting to accumulate and pick up. I don't know how it's going to succeed in the future, but as of right now, it's definitely picking up. I mean, back when I fought, I mean, we used to fight every weekend. I mean, now it's getting back to that. And I think back in the 80s, it was kind of like more of a boxing state at that point because, you know, we had more fighters and things like that. But now that it's starting to pick back up, I think it's going to get back to maybe getting more recognized.
Wow. Because right now, but we're going to do it regardless. I'm seeing a boxing, I'm seeing a coach, right? So
Yeah.
what motivates you to say, okay, I want to go that route of coaching? Because a lot of athletes, they might know how to do that thing, but they find it very hard to pass on the knowledge. So what motivates you to become a boxing coach?
That's a good question because it is very hard for me to pass on my knowledge to other individuals because it's almost like I feel like I hate to let somebody be as good as I was. Like to give them information that I have, I want to keep it kind of concealed. And so I felt I started with my son, teaching my son how to fight and how to, you know, kind of follow my footsteps.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at it like, you know, I got to start making a career, you know what I'm saying, a business, you know, more going forward toward, you know, business oriented.
Yeah.
So I started training people, and then when I started training people, and then I'm not liking what I'm seeing when they training, I'm not liking the outcome. So I felt like I had to get a little deeper. I felt like I had to show them a little bit more. I felt like I have to put a little bit more me inside them and to make them be more realistically a fighter. So I got to the point where these people are paying me money. They're paying me for my knowledge. They're paying me for my time. And I feel like if they're doing that, I got to represent them by getting them the information they need. And not only that, but I want my legacy to go on by as far as being a good fighter, being a fighter that can teach people how to fight. So with that being said, I had to go ahead and release my feelings and whatever, and just open up. And now that I got to open it up, I feel great. I got fighters that's coming pretty good. They're doing good, and I feel like it's all to the success of me releasing.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I like your transition because I came in this morning. Like I said, we're still gonna go into the gym and see what is going on. Even TMT, Floyd Mayweather boxing gym, is not as good as this.
Oh wow!
No, for real. If it's not as good as this, I would say probably you could compete with this gym.
Wow!
Yeah. So let's go back. You know, the memory lane. You know, when you was fighting, who were some of the top? Who was your top opponent like that you fought?
Oh man, there's so many. You know, I mean, I knocked out some guys. Those were the best feelings when I ever knocked out guys. You know what I'm saying? Especially some of the top guys that was rated in the world. I know one I fought on ESPN that was rated, and I knocked him out, and that was one of the best feelings. And then of course I fought on the Contender and won over $500,000, and that was my first time winning that kind of money. Just those opportunities right there is hard to compete with everything else I have done in my career as far as the fights and all that. But there have always been some great moments of fights that I had that I did really good. I felt really good. I felt like I couldn't be touched. I was also in the best shape of my life at those times. And just, you know, it was times when I felt unstoppable. And when I felt like that, it's just a feeling like you feel like a superhero. And I tell guys here, when you get to feeling like a superhero, then you maximize your abilities.
Wow. So can you take me to your first TV fight? Like, can you still remember? Is it out here in Oklahoma or other states?
It's kind of hard to remember because I have fought several times on TV. Fox, I fought on Fox, ESPN, I fought on HBO, Showtime. I fought on a couple of places like that. I got robbed a couple of times on Showtime or HBO or, you know, where I knocked the guy down and beat him fair and square. I beat him, and then because I wasn't the one made to win or fixed to win, I would lose the fight. Which is the game is dirty. I found that out several times after fighting. So knowing that, you know, it's hard to say that those fights was good, even though they was good, but they was good. But you know, so it's It's a dirty game. I know that. It was a dirty game going into it. Going into it, I really didn't know, but coming out of it, I know. You know, there's a dirty game. But my first TV fight, I just can't really say I can say what fight it was that I can recall, but I know all of them was good.
So how was the support like, you know, from Oklahoma State as a whole? Do people really come out? Do they, you know, support you?
I don't think I publicized enough. I needed more publicity of myself and letting people know what I was doing. I had a lot of followers that I didn't know. I had a lot of situations that people was following me and I didn't even realize what was going on with that type of situation. But I think that no doubt if I would have capitalize more and show people more, I could have been the next best thing. Probably had more people than anybody in the world. Probably, you know what I'm saying? I probably could have been another Mayweather or something. You know, if I could have just, I guess what I'm trying to say is gather my opportunities and realize I had the opportunities and realize my spotlight when I had it. You know what I'm saying? When I was in the spotlight, I was just thinking about myself. I was just thinking about what I had to do to make myself be successful. But I wasn't thinking about the people that was around that was really, I was helping them, making them feel a certain type of way. And so I didn't realize that until I won the Contender. And then I started going places and people always were like, hey, Grady, how you doing? Hey. Or give me free food, get free food,
free clothes,
free clothes, free things. So I didn't realize the effect that I was putting on people until after that. If I realized that before that and prior to that, I could have realized more things and opportunities I could have done.
What was the Contender? It's like a competition, like, right?
Yes.
Like, what's it called?
A tournament. It's more like a tournament. Yeah, it's like we start with 16 guys, and you know, we got into the house, and then we split sides. Eight people on the yellow team, and then 8 people was on the blue team, and so we had to fight down from the blue team to like 4 people, and then we'll fall down to 4 people, and then we'll fall down to 2 people, and then you know, we'll fall from 4 to 6 to 6 to 4, from 6 to.
Is it like a boxing? Or?
Yeah, it was a boxing. Yeah, it was an elimination. It was an elimination tournament where if you lose, you go home, and so.
As a matter of fact, I thought about something like that, cause I'm in Oklahoma City. I'm like, okay, why? Same way you explain, I've never even seen it, but it just came up to my mind. Like, okay, if they could do like a reality TV show, we could do it for boxers in Oklahoma State just to create that awareness. But that was good. So you won the Contender?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. That was a step in my life because I had opportunities all through my career where I was beating people and ranked number 6 in the world at one point, where I never got paid the kind of money that I deserved. You know what I'm saying? With some of the money that other people was getting, probably because I wasn't publicizing. I wasn't that kind of guy. I didn't have the followers.
Maybe other people getting the money they didn't let you expose to it.
Exactly. That's very possible. And so, with that being said, the Contender was the main thing and the goal that set me to being like more like a C+ fighter or a B+ fighter, because a lot of guys do this game, man. They fight in this game and they never make a dime.
I know.
Never make a penny.
I know.
And it's sad because you know they take punches and they at the end of their career they realize, man, I've done all this work and never got accomplished, never approved anything. And so I can at least say that to my point because I got my own gym, I got my own, you know, I made some money.
Great gym.
And so I can at least say that, but it's still disappointing to me because I didn't take full advantage of all the opportunities that I had.
Coach.
And I mean, I think it was because more or less I started at a late age professionally. Like I say, normally guys turn professional at like 20. I turned professional at 28. And that's kind of like when guys retire. You know what I'm saying? So
like Tank is like 28 now.
Yeah. And he's probably at the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? He probably got another good 5, maybe good big fights, and he's done. I was just not starting my fights at 28. You know.
So what was the motivation for you? Because like you said, 28 is like, even football, if you're 28 is like, okay.
My motivation was I never knew I had the opportunity when I was at 16, 17, 18 years old.
So what was the motivation like, you know, at 28 turning pro? Because at 28 some people are like, man, you know.
Well, the motivation, just like I say, it came mainly from me not having the opportunity to do it when I was younger, 17. Always feeling like I knew I could fight. I always knew I had the opportunity. I felt like a lot of fighters out there wasn't on my level. So when I was out there when I started fighting, I realized that a lot of these guys wasn't on my level. You know what I'm saying? So the opportunities presented itself where when I was fighting, I was able to really stick with these guys. You know, beat these guys, and so the opportunities came to me when I first fought. Like in Dallas, I fought a guy that was 3-time Golden Glove. They was like this big guy. This guy had all the belts, so he had everything, and I beat him. You know, first time I beat him, then they called me back to fight him again because the guy I fought, I was like 10 fights in or something like that. No, I was actually 7 fights in, and I beat the guy. And then they called me back to fight the guy for a rematch because they thought it was a fluke.
It was a fluke, yeah.
Yeah, and so I came back and I knocked him out the second time. And so when I knocked him out the second time, I mean, that type of stuff right there just gives you inspiration, and you know what I'm saying? That blows you up from 0 to 100. So from that point, my career excelled, you know, until I came up with a broken hand and injuries because of me being older, and you know what I'm saying, and then you know letting fame come to my head, not training to the effect that I need to been training to. I mean, just not having the followers and people behind me to know that I was in the spotlight. If I knew I was in the spotlight a lot more, like Mayweather know. See, Mayweather's amazing because he's in the spotlight. He knows he's in the spotlight.
No, but
He's been
there. Like his family, they know the game.
Yeah, he came into the game like that. I wish I came to the game knowing that kind of situation. I mean, if I came to the game with that kind of knowing, like almost like this experience, man, I don't know how far I could be. I mean, I would feel like I would be bigger than Mayweather. I'd be bigger than anybody that ever been out there. I mean, but you know, one thing you can't do is reset. You know what I'm saying? Once you do what you do, and once you get to a certain part of your life, or age, or whatever it may be, it's over. It's time to start thinking about other things, and that's where I'm at. The transition that you was talking about, that it's hard to transition from when you thinking that you can be here, but you like here, and then you have to transition. So it makes it kind of tough to be able to.
What was the growing up like for you? You was born in Oklahoma City or Lawton or where?
I was born here and raised here in Lawton, Oklahoma. Yeah, this is where I was born and raised here. And I was always an athlete though. That's the good thing, you know. I don't know what made me an athlete. I guess just being outside all the time. But
you play football?
I really didn't play football as much as I wanted to. I was a football player. I could play because we played a lot of tackle, throwback for tackle, and all that. We played all the national games, and I mean, I could have been out there and probably did something in football. But football, I guess, boxing kept me away from football. Boxing kept me away from basketball because boxing was year round. So, one thing, like I say, I turned to basketball when the season was over for boxing because of the gym left. The city stopped sponsoring, so I turned to basketball. So I became a basketball star at that point. But then, other than that, boxing been my whole life.
Wow. So let me move. You know, as a coach now, what's your philosophy now to the new young boxers? You know, in terms of training.
I think my philosophy started off as being a boxing owner, a boxing trainer, a business-oriented type business. I think I felt I started off like that, and then I started thinking about the dreams I had as far as having a gym, go and pick up kids. Kids came pick me. The gym came pick me. Buses came pick me up to take me, give me opportunities to change my life. So I think about some of the kids that's out there now that don't have opportunities to excel, and that's losing their minds, losing out inside gangs or drugs or death or whatever they might have, realize resigned to. I feel like doing the gym and doing what I did and having this gym, I feel like it's bringing back memories to me to want to help people, to help his kids, to help put back into the community what I had. So, because I just don't know where I would be if it wasn't from the van picking me up.
Wow. So how do you approach your training and the development of the sport of boxing to the new, young boxers? Because I'll give you an example, because this argument on TV amongst athletes that plays basketball, football, and the people that talk about boxing or that teach basketball or football, like half of them don't even play.
Right.
But like you play the boxing, like they say they don't play boxing, you did boxing.
Right.
And now you're a coach.
Right.
And that makes people to believe you more if you're telling them to do something. So how do you spread your story? Like how do you explain to this kid, to the boy?
Well, I feel I get you on that too, because a lot of these sports and these kids is not interacting with the sport that they're playing, or not interacting with the coach they have, and they getting to a point where they're not getting they're not getting all around the information or all around athlete to be able to move to the next level. They're not getting the most out of the kid. So I think what I have bring to the table when I get out of this situation is me being an ex-fighter. I think that a lot of kids respect that a lot more. I think a lot of kids look me up. They see what I have done. They want to be. They want to see they want to have what I have. I mean, and do the things I'm doing. So I think that gives more of an inspiration of knowing how I got here with my hands, that make them want to do it with their hands. So I think it interacts with me to connect with them a little bit better as far as coach to a kid or kid to adult. I think I connect to them a little better based off the experience I have versus the other guys that don't have experience. So I think that gives me an edge as far as being connected to some of my fighters.
Wow. So looking at you, talking to you, I could see that you emotionally, stable and mentally stable. So how do you do that? Because some athletes, not even a boxer, the transition is always, some of them probably drinking, and even when you talk to them, they won't be able to have anything valuable to add to other people's life.
Right.
So how did you do?
It's hard because it's almost like I always been humble, and being humble have got me to a point where I think I'm humble now, where I feel like enough, what I do is not never enough. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I always got to do more. So doing what I do now, it's feel like it's just a natural thing I'm doing. I mean, it's feels normal.
How do you handle when people don't value what you do? Because some people, like, you do, the more you do for them, the less they value it. How do you handle that mentally?
Kids, I got kids. Kids, you do a lot for the kids every day. I have 5 kids, and now I got grandkids. And
you don't look like you have a grandkids.
Yeah, well, I do. And the thing about it is, when you have kids and you have a family, and you do things for them, and they don't care, they like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you give them $1 million, and they like, oh man, that ain't nothing. And the way times have changed from back in the day to now, it's like night and day. It's like, the kids just don't understand it. So the value that I have and I give to people, it's like, I know it's not gonna mean a whole lot, so I just gotta keep giving. I'm just used to giving because I got kids. Kids, I give to them, and it don't show. Wow. It's like a cycle. So, and that's just the way I feel like it's that way, because when I grew up, I didn't have anything. And my mom and dad, they did the best they could for me, and I felt like I was good. I felt like I had everything that I needed, but it wasn't ever enough. And so by saying that, I guess I try to give my kids everything that I feel like I didn't have. But that's the wrong way to tack it. And now me tacking that way, I found out that that's not the way to go about it. And now that I go about that way, I'm stuck with it. So now I'm stuck with doing that. So now I can't go back. So I just got to deal with what I started.
You get tired of doing that sometimes, like, man,
Well, I got to the point now that this is a new, like you asked, like you said, it's a new decade of kids, decade of this is a new decade that's basically, that have changed, that since it changed from the new decade, that it's like, this is the only way it works, you know what I'm saying? So now all the kids expect to have what you got to give them. I mean, almost like you got to give them something, and then it's like you feel like you almost got to give it to them.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up. So what are some of the key lessons or insight that you gained from the sport of boxing that you're passing on to the,
well,
like I'll give you an example. I would say I picked that from you. You're the only first boxing I've ever seen that opens at 5 a.m. And that I'm like, okay, you're mindful of time. I keep that to myself. So what are some of those key lessons or insight that you've gained from the sport of boxing that you're trying to pass on to them?
Well, main thing is that I'm not really a morning person, but I like to open up early. I like to run this as a business. I got guys and people to want to come in and train. I like to do it early in the morning. I like to do it early in the day so I can have the rest of my day to chill or do what I want to do. take care of business here and there or whatever. So I like to knock things out. And I like to take care of things. I don't like having things in my mind to hinder me in a whole day's space. So I like to break it down and take care of it as soon as possible. And I'm sure a lot of people like to do that, but me, I like to go ahead and just knock out what I have to do and just relax and know how to think about it. So my thing is to start everything off early in the morning, training people, getting everybody, situated, getting things taken care of, getting them ready. And I figure that's the best time to catch people anyway. So that's pretty much how I get started. My day is just making them realize they got to get started quick.
Wow. So talking about coaching, right? So how do you tailor your coaching to meet individual or the need in terms of the strength and conditioning to the young boxers? How do you?
Well, I always try to inspire them by telling them that there's always somebody better. My mama used to always tell me that there's always somebody better. So training and working out. You have to always be ready for what can be the unexpected. So these guys coming to this gym and working, they think they come in and they come in and they eat some candy or coming in to get a Gatorade or something, have fun, and they change their life to realize that, hey man, you walk into a lion's den. This is a lion's den. You got to come in to be a killer.
Fight.
You know what I'm saying? You got to come be a fighter. This is not no play game. This is a serious game. So I let the guys know coming in that, hey, y'all got to be real. Got to come in with an open mind, knowing that you got to be ready to train and work hard.
So what's the most effective skill that a boxer can have that will make you feel like, okay, he's ready? Footwork or head movement? Dog?
Well, that's a hard question because I would say it's kind of hard to know because really I want to say heart. I want to say heart is the biggest one. And the reason why I say that because when you see a person that even has skill and talent or whatever, because I have seen people with skill and talent that I was like, man, you can go all the way, and then the heart would break down. They'd be like scared to fight. They wouldn't even fight nobody. They wouldn't even step up to the opportunity.
I'm like that, man.
Yeah, and then
anytime I see people sparring and I see blood,
yeah. Well,
I just
I can see that because it's so many people out there that has skill and talent that probably can go be the next best thing, but sometimes they don't have the heart, and that's why I think they came up with that movie where you had to have a heart. What was that movie with the yellow brick road? What was it called?
Which one?
Wizard of Balls, I think it was, when you had to have heart. You had to have.
I'm not a movie type.
Oh, you're not a movie type,
yeah.
but you had to have a heart. You had to I think the lion had to go get the heart, and then the tiger had to get, I forget what it was. I mean, the Tin Man had to get something, but I can't remember. But it reminds me of that movie where you have to have certain amount of things to be a fighter. Like your five senses: feel, touch, smell, hear. You gotta be you gotta have everything to be a fighter. So to ask the question of what it takes to be, and I recognize being a fighter, it's almost like they have to have all the things to recognize that, because it's hard to find it in a fighter to have all those things. So I have seen multiple fighters have things, but I think the main thing that I think that they don't have is heart. I think if the heart is the biggest thing, they have the heart. I think that shows the fighter in them.
So I'm going to switch to your career now. When you was boxing, what was the memorable, the best highlights, of your career? Like, oh man.
I would have to say being on the reality show, The Contender. My wife, my family, my kids, we all got the experience to change their life. I was going through a divorce, and I met my second wife. I was going through the first divorce with my first wife, and I was going through transition of having child support and having to move to almost like really a trailer. I had to move into a trailer because and not
in Oklahoma.
Yeah, here in Oklahoma. I had to move into a low income area, which was a trailer, because of I was working I had a good job, making about $30 an hour. You know, working at Goodyear, so I was making good money. It's just that the ties had hit, and when the ties hit, I was going through a divorce. I was paying child support. I had car notes. I had house notes. I had all these type of things, and so going from there to felt like the world was crashing in on me.
Yeah.
To going to a reality show and winning. So
it's like
was
a redemption story.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So it was a change of life.
Did you tell the story too in the Contender?
Have I told it in the Contender?
Did you let them know this is what is going on with you at that point?
No, I never did. No.
So how do you keep your mind
I'm very humble.
I'm very to the point that you won?
I've always been very humble. You know, I meet a lot of people, and you know, I meet a lot of people on the streets. And my wife, like the other day, we was somewhere, and this guy came up to me. He said, "Man, we're going to this boxing show, the Tough Man in Oklahoma City, or something like that." He said, and he was like, you know, I met him at a doctor's office or something. He was talking. I was like, "Yeah, okay," and I was like, "Yeah." And then we was walking home. My wife said, "You know, he's a boxer." And he won a reality show to Contender. He said, "Oh, did he?" And I was like, and my wife is blowing me up. I'm like, when she like, "Why you never say nothing?" I'm like, "That's just me. I just don't, you know, I had nothing.
You got a free medical bill."
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was your greatest success as a boxer?
This one in the Contender. I would have to say. I have to say the Contender because that was the one I won $500,000. Yeah. You know, when I won the $500,000. It changed my life.
Does the money change you? Man, I want to go buy a new car. I want to go buy.
Yeah, it definitely changed me in the aspect of wanting to get new things and things that I've always wanted. It definitely did that for me. It did some things that make me realize that what success is. You know what I'm saying? And it made me realize what dreams was all about. So those things definitely changed my life to a different aspect of living a different kind of lifestyle. No doubt.
Wow. Challenges, man. After transitioning, you know, is there any challenges? Like, man, how do you, if there is, how do you handle them? Like, how do you deal with them?
Man, the challenges to me that I have in my life, of anybody will have in their life, I think that the best way they deal with it is, and the only way they deal with it is basically the prior times that they have had in their life, as far as what have led them up to that point. Yeah. And I have to say, what led me up to this point, I resolved a lot of things back to boxing. I felt like that was one of the hardest things I ever done. Being in fights, being in opportunities, taking punches, giving punches, wanting to quit, wanting to win, feeling like I had to quit, feeling like I had to win. Those type things right there was so many different challenges that I feel like my everyday life is so easy compared to that. Wow. You know, so every day moving day to day, honestly, I compare it to boxing. When I compare to boxing, it don't even raise an inch to it. So I'm like, you know, man, I just keep moving.
Wow. So come this Saturday, February 17, what is happening here?
Man, last time we had an event here, we had about 17, 18, 19 fights, something like that. I can't remember the number. But we had a lot of fights here. We had about 380 people in here, wow. That's a lot for this building, you know what I'm saying? This building is not that big, but it's big enough probably to hold about 300 to maybe 400 people. Probably 400 people max, maybe 425, something like that. But I'm expecting to have a lot more people this time than I did last time. Like I said, it was like 380. So I'm expected that it's going to be a fight night. It's going to be a fun night. People like to, come to excitement and see it. Me and my wife have got together. Me and her is good together, where we can put things together and make things really fun and excitement. So me and her, as far as going into this situation, putting this fight together, feel it's the best. It's getting better and better every time. So it's also an opportunity for us to see how far we can make a business at term and make things work as a business. Also turn fighters into some good fighters. You know what I'm saying? Give them opportunities to to accumulate more fights, to accumulate more opportunities, maybe to be another guy like me, or maybe another guy at Oklahoma. So it's a lot of different things that venture into this fight this weekend that makes it to where it's exciting, because you never know what comes out of it. You know what I'm saying? You never know if it's going to be a great fight, better than the last one, or you don't know if it's going to be a fighter come out of it that's going to be greater than it was last time. So it's just excitement all around. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the suspense to going into this is just crazy.
Wow. So where can people buy the tickets? Is it going to be at the gate, or?
I have a flyer that's out there. This barcode, you can scan this barcode, and it'll take you to Eventbrite, where you can buy a ticket there. It's also this Saturday, this weekend. If you want to, you can buy the tickets at the door.
At the door?
At the door, yeah. The door, like I say, by it being the last time there was so many people, I don't see us turning nobody away, but I see if it get too full, we might have to. But I feel like getting the tickets is first come, first serve. We already sold our tables. We had 8 tables we sold. The tables are already gone. They've been gone for a while. So with that being said, I guess, first come, first serve is, probably the best opportunity to get a ticket.
Wow. Do they have like a ticket, like a general admission, and the prices?
Well, as of now, not now. But the business has been getting really good, and I'm not liking the situation of people buying tickets at the last minute. So with that being said, I really might go up on the tickets, because of the simple fact that people buying them at the door might have to start paying more. Yeah, possibility.
Okay. Before Ali, give me your top 5, man.
Huh?
Top 5 boxers.
Top 5?
Yeah. You can put yourself, man.
Well, my first number 1 is Mayweather.
Okay.
And I got to give him that, because I've been in the fight game for years, and he never lost a fight. And my hat go off to him, because every fighter would love to have that. A 0 on their record, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that on my record. When I had my 0.
Is that killing the game of boxing? Because that's what everybody's trying to do now. They don't want to fight like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He fought the best people that was out there at the time. And so, he never avoided nobody. And when he did fight, he fought for the right amount of money. You know what I'm saying? He got what he got out. You know what I'm saying? He was just a smart guy, intelligent, smart. He did everything he had to do to make it, make things work for him. And I can't give him number hats off to that, And then, of course, I like the way Tank Davis is doing things. So I got to probably put him like second. I got to put the heavyweight Fury in there, because
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, Tyson Fury. I got to put him in there, because he's like a guy. He was knocked out, sleep, and woke up. I mean, who does that? I mean,
like
who?
A ghost.
Yeah, like a ghost. Like a guy.
WWE.
Yeah. Like he said, he's a guy. You know what I'm saying? So who does that? So. And then he's not lost the fight, and he's, like I say, he was down and out, and he came up and won, and so I got to give it to him. I feel like I almost got to give an opportunity to Wilder, and then Wilder and Tyson, because they had such a punching power to knock people out, and go so far with undefeated and knocking people out and beating people. I probably had to put those 2 in there.
Wow. So what's your, to round up the interview, what's your advice for the young boxers?
Oh man,
in the state of Oklahoma, all over the world.
Well, anybody that does any sport, that does anything, they have to stay committed. For one, they have to stay dedicated. They have to stay humble. They have to realize that they got to really want it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be for you. It can't be for nobody else. And you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. You got to put the time in. So anybody that want to be successful in this game or any kind of career, they got to show they want it. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to find it these days, because people have so many distractions with the cell phones and love, sex, death, all those type things always play the factor. But definitely with the way the world is, with the computers and the new decade and the new cars and new technology and all that, I mean, so many distractions. Just got to stay focused.
Wow. So people, there you have it. The great boxer, coach, Grady Burrow.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much, Coach. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what got to give you this?
Yeah. How you doing, sir?
All right. Yeah. Well, it's good seeing you, bro, man. Shit, I just wanted to stop and holler at you, brother.
Yeah.
Are you an OU fan? Are you an OU fan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I see that. I'm a big time OU fan, too.
Oh, well, my thing is, I think they messed up going to the SEC, bro.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, we're going to do pretty good.
I want to know why they got left. Why they got left the quarterback?
Oh.
They got Jackson.
Talking about that younger kid.
Yeah, Jackson. The other dude, I think he went to Oregon.
Yeah, he went back there. I think they asked him to come in and be a mentor to the kid. Because this, that was his first get,